everyone, this is Lydia and today I am going to show you how to do a perfect writing assignment that your teacher will ask you to do after reading any story. I will guide you through all the steps that will make you master a writing paragraph that includes all the elements needed to make your writing assignments easy and a great fun. I am going to select a story from this book, will post it on my channel, then I am going to show you how the final paragraph will look like.
The Princess and the Manatee by Anna Maria Alvarado, illustrated by Pamela Johnson. Long ago, in the days when people could converse with animals, there lived a princess of the Seminole tribe in the Florida Everglades. Her name was Sumumi. The Everglades is a hot, humid area with swamps and forests and a wide variety of wildlife, and it was a great place for a child like Sumumi to play. Sumumi's parents were the chiefs of her tribe. They had taught Sumumi to love animals. She always liked to be in the water, where she got to know a great variety of fish and marine animals. The species she liked best was the manatees. Sumumi spent lots of time carousing with the manatees. Manatees are very large animals, but in those days they could talk. They like to be around people, have a very muscular body, and grow very large. Adults can weigh up to 1,000 pounds and can measure 13 feet in length. They swim slowly. They are peaceful animals and do no harm. Manatees do not eat other animals. They feed on plants. Although they prefer aquatic plants, they eat other plants too. Sumumi knew the manatees very well, and she knew they appreciated it when she gave them vegetables. Manatees are long-living. Sumumi looked for the same friends whenever she went swimming in the vast Everglades, which is the manatee's habitat. In a different tribe there lived a friendly prince. He loved animals too, and he liked to play with them. Prince Tukur liked to run with the hares and the deer. These organisms were his playmates. Near Tukur's tribe there lived a woman who was very old and very bitter. She didn't like to see others laughing. She lived independently from the others with no family. There were no traces of kindness in her soul. Tukur played with the animals. He called them by name, and they followed him. Tukur had a lot of fun, and when he went home, he told his parents about the games he had played. One day, when Tukur went out to play with the animals, the old woman saw him go into the forest, happy and singing. She felt jealous and decided to do some mischief. She knew a lot of tricks, and they really worked, so she started to prepare some strange broths, which she put in different colored containers. The broth in the red container would make the prince sick to his stomach. The yellow container held broth that could make him get all hairy like a bear. The blue container had broth that would prevent him from walking. The broth in the green container would make it impossible for Tukur to play with the animals. If the animals played with him, they would die. When the old woman finished making everything, she went out to the forest with her broths. She saw the prince playing with the animals. The old woman was still jealous, and she came out from where she was watching. The prince was having fun, and he failed to see her approaching. Handsome Prince, would you like to eat what the animals eat and feel what they feel? "I have a red broth that will affect you in a nice way." She was trying to fool him. But the prince ignored her. "Handsome prince, my blue broth will help you be like them," she said. You are not easy. You don't want to be happy." "My yellow broth will make you walk like your friends," she said. Again the prince ignored her. The old woman got impatient. She had only the green broth left. She was determined that the prince take it. "Handsome prince, someday you'll find a princess who will love you and help you to reunite with your animals again. Meanwhile, you won't be able to play with them any longer because they will die if you do," said the old woman, anger coloring her voice. The old woman pulled out the green broth. Before Tukur could run away, she grabbed him by the head and poured the broth directly into his mouth. The old woman went off laughing. Now the prince would be as bitter and miserable as she was. Tukur told his parents that the old woman had made him swallow her broth. He was sorely upset that he could no longer play with his animal friends because they would die if he did. Tukur's parents were sad when they heard what had happened to their son. They knew the old woman didn't want anyone to be happy because she was very bitter. "Now what can we do?" said the mother, crying. "We'll search for a princess to help Tukur recover so he can play with his friends again," said the father. This idea gave them all some hope. But how would they find a princess? "Beautiful princess," said one of the manatees, "you are very good to us. Someday you will find a handsome prince who needs your help. He lives in another tribe and he likes animals, but he can't play with them anymore." Sumumi laughed at what her friend the manatee said. "Princess, don't laugh. You are going to save a handsome prince who wants to play with the animals. He can't even touch them anymore because of a bitter old woman." "She gave him a broth that did this to him," said another manatee. Sumumi was confused and she didn't understand what her friends were talking about. Sumumi lived in a small tribe. Everyone took care of the animals. They knew the manatees were endangered and hunting them was expressly forbidden. One day a hunter came to the tribe. He wanted to hunt manatees and take them to the town. The others didn't let him. There were only a few manatees left, and the Seminole people didn't want the manatees to be all gone. They agreed to guard the Everglades to make sure that hunting would be banned there. Sumumi was happy again, and she ran to tell her friends what had happened. The manatees were careful. Sumumi was the only person allowed to go near them. Tukur left his tribe. His father told him to search for a princess who would help him to be the way he was before he was forced to drink the old woman's broth. He walked for days. He ate whatever he found. He slept at night beneath the stars. He met up with many tribes on the way, but none of them had a princess. Finally, he met up with Sumumi's tribe. They gave him food and listened to his story with interest. Sumumi's father told Tukur that his daughter was the most beautiful princess in the Seminole nation and that she played with manatees all day long. Tukur went to where Sumumi was swimming with her friends, the manatees. She came out of the water where the manatees were basking in the radiation of the sun's rays. The prince was surprised. Sumumi was so beautiful. Tukur and Sumumi became friends. She played with the manatees. He couldn't dare lay a finger on them, however, or they would die. Sumumi was sad, then remembered her conversation with the manatees. She thought she could help the prince. She had to love the prince very much so that he could play with animals again. Sumumi explained to Tukur about the manatees. She taught him to care for them. She said manatees eat only plants, 150 pounds of plants a day. When they are just born, they weigh about 70 pounds and are fragile. Many die young. Tukur began to love Sumumi. Sumumi already loved Tukur. He liked animals just as she did. He was a prince and he was handsome. Tukur was happy to be with Sumumi, but he wanted to play with the manatees too. Sumumi went swimming with the manatees. Tukur stayed behind. The manatees spoke with Sumumi. "Beautiful princess," said the oldest manatee, "your prince has come. He needs you, and you will be content. When you give him a kiss on the cheek, he will once again be able to play with the animals." Sumumi came out of the water. She looked at Tukur and gave him a kiss on the cheek. The prince was thrilled, and he joyously played with the animals. Tukur's parents came to celebrate the wedding. Sumumi's parents were delighted and held a lovely wedding. While everyone prepared the big feast, Tukur and Sumumi were in the Everglades with their friends, telling them about their happiness. They would take care of the animals and protect the endangered manatees so that they would never again be threatened by hunters. Everyone was happy on the day of Tukur and Sumumi's wedding, but the happiest were Tukur and Sumumi. All their friends were there. The manatees arrived dressed in bright colors that made everyone laugh. Tukur and Sumumi, with their animal friends, lived happily for many, many years, and the manatees were able to survive because now everybody takes care of them. Responding. Target skill, main ideas and details. What do Sumumi and Tukur have in common? What text details support this idea? Copy and complete the chart below. Write about it. Text to world. Think about ways in which manatees might be endangered. Consider their habitat in the Everglades. Write a few paragraphs explaining what you think people can do to protect manatees. Target vocabulary. Effect. Band. Directly. Habitats. Organisms. Radiation. Species. Traces. Variety. Vast. Expand your vocabulary. Humid. Impatient. Mischief. Miserable. Muscular. Target skill. Main ideas and details. Name a topic's key ideas and supporting details. Target strategy. Monitor, clarify. Notice what is confusing as you read. Find ways to understand it. Genre. A fantasy is a story with details that could not happen but seem real.